What's going on, guys? A little bit of a change of pace on this video. So normally I'm looking at option plays or short-term stock trades. This is a bit different though. So I recently decided to check out Tony Sagami's Disruptors and Dominators investment newsletter. I'm not much of a long-term investor, and I've been kind of holding off until we see where this market goes before I start to think about buying and holding stuff. I really want to see what happens, make sure we're not just going to be going down for another 20% in the markets while I'm buying these things. But I am starting to get more interested in buying and holding stocks. And this may well be the perfect market to start, right? Once it starts to bottom. We've been long overdue for a bear market, and I think this one could present so many really great opportunities that it's starting to come up on my radar that maybe I should be looking at longer term investment newsletters a bit more. So anyway, so I've been checking out Disruptors and Dominators investment newsletter by this guy, Tony Sagami. And he's part of Weiss Ratings, so I don't know if you guys are familiar with that site yet, but I'm doing a lot of stuff on them at the moment, just checking out all their different services. We'll look here. This is their site here, Weiss Ratings. And these are all the services that they offer. And it's a huge mix. So I've talked about crisis profit traders in an article. I've actually just done one on NFT Wealth Builder. So they go from crypto to long-term investing and everything in between. So it's a pretty interesting company. They've got a lot of stuff going on. But today I really want to talk about the Disruptors and Dominator service, this one that I'm checking out at the moment. So this is the article. I'll leave a link in the description so you can go and check this out in your own time. You can go through and see what this involves. They have a couple of free webinars that are pretty interesting, so you want to check those out. They're on here. It's about some of the latest companies and things that look like it's going to really be disruptive in their various industries, so it's pretty exciting. So this is Tony, this guy right here. So Tony's an interesting character. He's extremely well known. He's a well-known investor and author. He's been trading for a couple of decades now, mainly investing longer term like this. And there's this story about when he first came to America. He ended up sleeping under a bridge when he was just about a year old. So it's pretty crazy. Apparently he then got put to work on some farm in Washington. I don't know the full story. I'm getting this from their website. It sounds pretty interesting though, like he's had quite an eventful life. Over the years though, he's managed to become a really successful investor, and he's working at Weiss Ratings at the moment as an editor. He also wrote about the SuperNet, work that discussed the vision of the future internet that was far ahead of its time. So that's pretty interesting. So if you can track that down, it might be worth checking out. Anybody that can predict the internet, or at least predict where it's going, could be an interesting guy to learn from. So Tony has several newsletters at Weiss. He has Disruptors and Dominators, Stock Options Hotline, which I'm also looking at the moment and be subject to future reviews, and the Weiss Ultimate Portfolio. So when you subscribe to the Disruptors and Dominators, you get a monthly newsletter that contains basically their top picks, their market analysis and investment stuff for that particular month. So you can see that here in the dashboard. If you look here, these are the issues and alerts, and you can see you get some updates as well in between. So you can see the ones that are marked updates. So every week or two you get an update on different things, the state of the market, particular industries, and then you actually get the issues, which are like these guys, gamified profits. So we're going to have a look at one of these and see what you actually get. I'll just try and pick one that's a little bit out of date, so I'm not kind of giving away too much stuff that's up to date. I don't want to screw over subscribers or whatever. So here we go. Here's an electrical vehicle thing. So alert, EV King defends the throne. So again, with the Weiss Ratings, this is what I'm really loving. You can listen to this article, which often I'll do while I'm just doing something else. I'll just play one of these and listen to it. And you can see the sort of due diligence that goes into these things. Russia's invasion of Ukraine has exaggerated supply chain issues, which are the heart of electric vehicles. Automakers are crying like babies because the shortage of nickel, but because its price has soared. You can kind of go through. Here's the chart on nickel. Not so much for Tesla, which had negotiated a previously undisclosed agreement with Brazilian miner Vale. This agreement guarantees reliable supply. Tesla report. Just talking about this stuff, fairly interesting. Let's see. So then they're doing updates to some of their trades, CCJ. So Long term and medium term, we've got to be looking at big nuclear solutions. So this is the kind of stuff you get. Let's see if there's actually a recommendation here. So this is not really that exciting. I'm not seeing anything that actually is an alert. Maybe this isn't the best example. Let me see if I can find a better one. This isn't super good. But this one. Let's see. Let's see what it has to say in this thing going here. So you get these like nice reports. This was March, so it's a little out of date, so hopefully it's a good one to show you. By the way, these are stocks, so we're not really buying any options with them. You're buying and holding the stock. And these are long term, like several years. So anything that's in here now is, not something that's going to be sold the next day. So it's pretty interesting. This is more about Tony. I was raised in a small vegetable farm near Tacoma. You see it where he's physical work. Labor Day is no holiday on a farm. Interesting. So some background information on Tony in here. So we're talking about robots and things, robotics, blah blah blah, new tidal wave. Oxford University research estimate that 47% of jobs could be automated within the next 2 decades. Wow. Okay. So now they're getting into this particular industry. Let's see. So FNUC, how much of a market leader is. So this is when they start going into the disruptors in the field. So pretty in-depth like stuff here. Robotics, artificial intelligence, pretty interesting. Looking at the units sold and then the stock price. So yeah, so this is a typical report. It's pretty interesting actually. So new subscribers buy at market. Pretty interesting stuff. Looking through here. Loads of stuff. So that's like an example of what you're getting inside the dashboard here. If we go back to that, let's see here. You need to hit back on this button. There we go. So inside the Disruptors and Dominators dashboard, there's a bunch of frequently answered questions here. So this is one thing that you do have to expect if you're doing this service. It says about 15 to 20 open positions at one time. So it's quite a lot. More than you normally have if you're a shorter term trader. So start building up these positions. And the idea is they're really looking for the major disruptors in a particular industry. So they add a new position every month. You see here we'll add at least one position every month. And there are also sell alerts and things as well. So it's not bad. The only thing I'm a little bit nervous about is the track record hasn't been very good. So if we go to the position tracker and we look at the closed positions, these guys, you can see they're all red. So recently it's been pretty much a bloodbath. Now it's kind of what you'd expect given the market, right? Right? These positions were open just before we really started to go down. So all these positions in 2021 were closed this year, most of them, for a significant loss on each position. That's what you'd expect. I mean, maybe it's a better time to be getting started now because hopefully we're getting towards the bottom, or at least halfway to the bottom of the market. But this is definitely not exactly confidence inspiring, but at the same time it's totally understandable. Everything's kind of pulled down with the whole market, so I'm not super worried about that in terms of the timing. So apart from that, I think it'll be an interesting system. They do a lot of special reports and things. Here's real estate stuff, fast track to farmland riches, pandemic stocks, getting rich. I guess that's kind of out of date now. So a lot of these might be out of date. And gold stuff. It seems like an interesting service. I think I'm going to wait until the market's kind of down a little bit more and we start to really feel like we're starting to reverse, though, before I can get involved with any long-term investing, including the Disruptors and Dominators service. So it's definitely worth checking out. I don't know how much it is you have to call to get the price. You can do some special deals with them and stuff, who knows. Overall, I think it looks interesting. I like the story that Tony Sagami, but you really only really want to be interested in this if you're looking for 1 to 2 year holds. Weiss Ratings does have a lot of other services that I'm currently going through, and they're pretty cool. So the ones I would suggest are also in this article. Weiss Weekend Windfalls is a option selling service which is really good. Looks pretty good. Next Black Swan's really good. So check some of those out as well if you're not really into the buy and hold type of stuff. Anyway, I thought I'd give a brief overview of that. It kind of flies under the radar. A lot of people haven't even heard of Weiss Ratings, and certainly haven't really looked at these services. So I thought it'd be a cool video to do. Alright guys, talk to you soon.